Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ghost Month. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
Well, Ghost Month is what we're talking about, but this is actually English Digest, and we started talking about Ghost Month in our last program. Ghost Month, of course, is a certain time in the lunar calendar for one entire month, and then Zhongyanjie is the 15th day, I guess, and that's when people actually commemorate the ghosts, or at least they appease the ghosts or try to help them out as much as they can by setting up those altars and making sacrifices and burning paper money and incense and stuff like that.
And today we're going to continue talking about it, talking about some of the activities that are going on around the island. And yeah, I haven't been to any of these, so I need to get out and get some stuff done. Usually when it's hot in the summer, I don't go anywhere. But here are some activities that could just brighten up your summer, that's for sure. We're going to read through our article and then we'll be back. To immerse yourself in Ghost Month activities, add Jilong's parade and releasing the water lanterns. Add Tucheng's Ghost Grappling Festival to your must-see list. The parade, held on the 14th day of Ghost Month, began in 1856. A few years before, 11 of Jilong's rival families had clashed over land, business, and religious customs, leading to some family members' deaths. Eventually, a truce was negotiated, and the families agreed to work together to honor their dead. Nowadays, the family's descendants organize a parade in which they carry large, elaborate lanterns shaped like houses through Jilong streets. When they reach the water, the lanterns are lit and pushed out to sea, offering the good brothers a safe abode. The Ghost Grappling Festival takes place on the 29th night of Ghost Month. This festival is meant to be a reflection of the hardships Chinese immigrants faced when they settled near Yilan. This area frequently experienced natural disasters, war, and disease, and many who died there had no family to perform funeral rites, leaving them unable to reach the afterlife. To honor these wandering spirits, 12 teams participate in the grappling event. The team members compete to be the first to reach the top of a 13-meter-tall greased pole, where one team member must swing himself onto a platform and climb another 30-meter-tall tower. The first to capture a red flag is declared the winner. While these are Ghost Month's most famous events, there are plenty more to take part in. This Ghost Month, take the time to visit a temple, make an offering, and honor the dead at one of the many celebrations around Taiwan.
Okay, everybody, it's time for us to discuss today's lesson. This is the second day of our gripping guide to Ghost Month. We talked about some of the taboos last time. Don't whistle, don't go swimming and stuff like that. Don't stay out late at night, make sacrifices and things like that. But, if you really want to have fun during Ghost Month, there are ways to do that. I think the ghost probably wouldn't mind if you wanted to have a little bit of fun during this time. It's not such a serious time, although you do have to remember to, be good to the ghosts, but we've got a couple of activities that you could participate in order to immerse yourself in Ghost Month activities. So that's how our lesson begins here. It says, to immerse yourself in Ghost Month activities, add Jilong's parade and releasing the water lanterns and Tocheng's Ghost Grappling Festival to your must-see list, okay? So if you have a list of things that you've got to see, that you've got to participate in, that is your must-see list. If you're traveling to Japan, for example, you might make out a list of things that you've got to see. Oh, I've got to see the Imperial Palace. I've got to go to Tokyo Tower, etc. I've got to bathe in an onsen, a hot spring somewhere in Japan. That is my must-do list. But here it's a must-see list that you have for Ghost Month. And two of the items on that list would include Jilong's parade and releasing the water lanterns, and then Tocheng's Ghost Grappling Festival.
Sounds nice. I've never heard of these activities before, so this is great. The sentence starts out by saying you're going to immerse yourself in something. To immerse yourself in something literally means you get into some water, usually. You dip or submerge in a liquid. But here it actually means to involve yourself in some activity, so you're really in there having a good time. So these are two things that are on some people's must-see list. I think I'm going to add it to mine. Something fun to do in the summer. Now, this grappling, if you grapple with something, grappling reminds me of wrestling. Wrestling and grappling means you're usually in a close fight and you're struggling with somebody. No weapons, no guns, no knives. You're just wrestling with each other. But that's literal. Figuratively, if you grapple with something, you kind of struggle with it. You struggle to deal with it. Maybe you're grappling with a question or grappling with this tough situation in your life. You're struggling with it. Same sort of idea. Now, the parade held on the 14th day of Ghost Month began long ago in 1856. That's a long time ago.
Wow, that's a long time ago indeed. So let's talk about that activity first here. The one in Geelong here, it's a parade. And again, as you said, it began way back in 1856, over 150 years ago.
Yeah.
And a few years before, 11 of Geelong's rival families had clashed over land, business, and religious customs, leading to some family members' deaths. So there was a big feud, we could say, a big family fight in Geelong way back in the 1850s. And these are rival families. If you're a rival, that means you're somebody you fight against and you always want to beat them. There are different rivalries in sports, for example. We often talk about that. The state I'm from, Iowa, there's a big rivalry between the University of Iowa and Iowa State University, especially when they play football. And you are a baseball fan, of course. The Yankees and the Red Sox are rivals.
Yeah, so these are rival families. If you clash over something, you disagree with somebody. So it's hard to have that in rival families because they were clashing or fighting over land, business, and religious customs, and that led to some family members' deaths. Notice here we have several family members who died. So it was a pretty big rivalry, you could say, and it was a pretty big fight for people to actually die because of it. Now, eventually... Oh, I wanted to mention, for the girls out there especially who are into fashion, we'll use clash, guys, to talk about colors or patterns that don't go together. At least in Western society, we don't like prints and stripes. That used to be a rule long ago. Now we're getting a lot of new fashion that have those things together. Or wearing an orange and a pink or pink and a red together used to be considered to be clashing. Ooh, those colors clash. But we're seeing more things that clash today in fashion. So that's another way we use that verb, to clash.
And, of course, The Clash is a famous punk band from London back in the 70s. I think, of course, they've long since broken up. But in any case here, yes, this is a verb, to clash. They had conflicts. They fought about land. Hey, this is my property. No, it's yours. It's mine. And about business, who had the customers and stuff like that. And also about religious customs, where they were building their temple or stuff like that. They were fighting over those things. And this clash, or this rivalry, got so intense that it led to some of the family members dying. It led to their deaths, and that's not good. So eventually, a truce was negotiated. If you have a truce, that means you have an agreement that you're not going to fight anymore. Like street gangs, for example, they might have a truce, so they agree not to fight each other and to talk to each other to try to work out their differences. Here they had a truce, and that truce was negotiated, which means they actually got together and discussed these things and made some compromises and things like that. And eventually they settled their differences and they agreed to work together to honor their dead. So yes, some people have died as a result of this. Let's not get caught in blame. Let's not blame each other. Let's just try to be peaceful here. Let's forget our differences, agree to disagree, and move forward.
Nowadays, the family's descendants organize the parade, in which they carry large, elaborate lanterns shaped like houses through Geelong streets. I'm going to look these up and try to get up to Geelong to check these out. They sound great. Now, your descendants are people that come from you, so they could be your kids, your grandkids, great-grandchildren, things like that. Now, of course, this clash happened long ago, so of course those folks are long gone, and their descendants are now organizing the parade. They're putting it together, making all the arrangements, and they produce these large, elaborate lanterns that look like houses, not your typical lantern shape for sure. If something's elaborate, it has a lot of detail on it. It's pretty complex to make. Probably took a long time to make those lanterns. I'd love to see them. They sound cool.
Sounds pretty cool here. I've thought about going to check that out for a long time, but I know those activities always attract huge crowds, and I just don't do well with big crowds. I hate it when there are millions of people trying to see the same thing. They're shoving, they're pushing into each other and stuff like that. I just don't like that. I'm from the country. I'm not used to that, so I never had the guts to actually go to Geelong to check this out, but still, maybe I could watch it on TV or something. But again, the descendants organize this parade. They carry those large, elaborate lanterns through the streets, and when they reach the water, the harbor there, I'm assuming, the lanterns are lit with candles or something, and then they're pushed out to sea, offering the good brothers a safe abode. So here we've got the word abode, and that's a noun. It just is another word for a house or a place where you live. But again, it's not really used that commonly.
No, you'll see it more often in works of literature, classic books. They'll often use that word abode. You just need to know it's a place to live, a house, a home. It's a word that's far more formal, of course, than house or home. You just need to know what it means. You probably won't be speaking it for sure. Right now, we're going to take a quick break, listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back.
Hello everyone, my name is Tina. 我们今天要来看的是鬼月有哪些活动，你也可以一起参与。在第一个句子提到 To immerse yourself in Ghost Month activities at Keelong's parade and releasing the water lanterns and Tocheng's Ghost Grappling Festival to your must-see list. 在这里提到几个重要的节庆，不过我们先来看一下To immerse oneself in something 就代表呢某人要专心于某件事物。举例来说 Sandra immersed herself in work to try and forget her problems at home. Sandra 非常专心的投入工作，就是试图要忘掉家里的一些问题。那如果你要让自己沉浸于鬼月的活动当中，基隆的放水灯游行跟头城的抢孤盛典一定要去参与看一看。在后面提到的是基隆放水灯的游行，第一段的最后一句提到Eventually, a truce was negotiated and the families agreed to work together to honor their dead. 几个家族呢敌对而争吵，最终呢终于讲和了，然后协议达成，这些家族同意一起来对逝者来表达他们的敬意。Truce 在这里当作名词，是有休战协定的意思。Negotiate 当作动词，是谈判协商的意思。举个例子来说 The airline is negotiating a new contract with the union 代表着这家航空公司正在和工会来商议新的合约，所以这几个家族也就协同呢，愿意对逝者表示敬意。第二段的第一个句子提到，这些家族的后代他们会策划这整个游行 in which in the parade 用 which 来代替前面的名词，连接前后的句子。在这样的游行当中呢，会载运着大型精美形状像是房子一样的灯笼来通过基隆的大街小巷。在这里的 elaborate 指的是很精致的意思。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, let's continue with our lesson. We're talking about some activities that you can enjoy. You can immerse yourself in these activities if you want to have more fun. During Ghost Month, we're talking about the parade and the water lanterns in Geelong, and we're also going to talk about Tocheng's Ghost Grappling Festival. So we just got done talking about the activities in Geelong there. Now let's go down to Yilan County here. The Ghost Grappling Festival takes place on the 29th night of Ghost Month. So remember, on the 15th, that's the day when you have the altars set up and you burn the paper money and the incense and make sacrifices. Well, just about toward the end of Ghost Month, on the 29th night of Ghost Month, we have the Grappling Festival, which takes place in Tocheng.
Cool. I have a friend who lives in Tocheng. So do you, Tom. Brian lives out there. Yeah, it's not that far. I'd like to go out and check this.
I had no idea he moved there.
Yeah.
I know a lot of foreigners have like weekend places rented down there. Rents are really cheap there.
Yeah.
But Tocheng, of course, is right next to the ocean. I think you can actually go surfing there. But this festival is meant to be a reflection of the hardships Chinese immigrants faced when they settled near Yilan. If you know a little bit about Taiwanese history, you know that the early immigration from the mainland came from Fujian province, from different places there. I used to know this stuff. There were like 3 main cities, and they crossed over and settled in various places in Taiwan there. But of course, they had to face different hardships when they settled near Yilan. So, yes, indeed, this is a reflection of those hardships. Hardships just refers to difficult times, getting yourself set up for business and things like that, the things you had to suffer when you move from one place to another. A reflection here just means it kind of represents those hardships. Nobody's really suffering there now the way they did back then, but still, it's kind of a commemoration of the hard times that those immigrants faced long ago.
And of course, immigrants just means a person who moves to live permanently in another country. So these were Chinese folks who came to Taiwan and settled here permanently, and they had a lot of tough times. Those are hardships. So this area frequently experienced natural disasters, war, and disease, and many who died there had no family to perform funeral rites for them. And in that particular religion or belief system, that means if they didn't have their funeral rites performed, they wouldn't be able to reach the afterlife. So they would be, just wandering around forever, lost. So here, let's look at this. Frequently here is, of course, an adverb of the adjective frequent. So if something happens frequently, it happens quite often. And we know Yilan is right there on the coast, so they get typhoons, or hit by typhoons, or hit with earthquakes sometimes as well. So those were some of the natural disasters that we're talking about. A disaster is when a lot of damage is done. And if you add natural, it just means it happened because of Mother Earth. It could be a typhoon, an earthquake, something like that. Those are natural disasters, not man-made disasters. We have enough of those. War and disease. Back then, they just didn't have the vaccinations that could prevent some of these really horrific diseases that would come and kill lots of people. So sadly, some of those folks didn't have anyone to perform those rites. A rite is just a religious ceremony, certain words that are said, certain customs that are done. Those are funeral rites. And then the afterlife is, of course, either heaven or hell based on your belief system.
So maybe they sent the men over or something like that, so their family wasn't here when they died of some kind of disease, or during a typhoon, or a war with the local indigenous people or something like that. So there was no one here to perform those funeral rites, and they could not reach the afterlife as a result. Afterlife meaning going to heaven, going to hell, purgatory, or reincarnating, or things like that, etc. Now here in the next paragraph, it begins by saying, to honor these wandering spirits, 12 teams participate in the grappling event. You probably heard about this event in Tocheng here, and we've got these teams who are participating in this activity. So it's some kind of competition here, 12 teams teams. Each team has a certain member or certain number of members on that team, and they participate in this event. Here we've got the word participate, and it's often used with the preposition in. To participate in, you could also say to take part in something. You are a member of this activity.
It's kind of crazy what they're doing. I had no idea this was going on. So the team members compete to be the first to reach the top of a really tall pole.
Yep.
But it's not just because it's tall that makes it difficult. It's got grease on it. Grease is of thick oil. So they put this all over the pole, so it's hard to really hold on to. I think that's why they're grappling with the pole. They're struggling against it, trying to get a grip on it, which would be almost impossible if it's greased. Now, what happens is when one team member swings himself, this is part of the thing, they've got to swing themselves onto a platform, which is a flat, level, kind of a stage-looking thing, a platform, and then they have to climb another tower, and this one's even higher. 30-meter tall tower. Notice, guys, I want to point this out. When we're describing how tall something is or how many years old somebody is, when you're making that word meter or years into an adjective, do not put an S on it. He's a 5-year-old artist. He's a 50-year-old baseball player. Notice you don't put the S on that. So here we've got meter. You don't say 30 meters tall tower. That's wrong.
That's wrong, yes. 30-meter tall tower. So I've added up quite a lot of meters here. We've got 30 plus 13. That's 43 meters high. That's almost as high as half of a football field. That's pretty darn high.
Whoa.
I hope they have some safety harnesses or something like that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there have been any injuries as a result of this activity. I hope not. But the first to capture a red flag is declared the winner. And I must assume that the red flag is way at the top of this tower. So you got to climb up there and get that red flag. It sounds similar to the dragon boat races. The first boat to capture a flag in the water is declared the winner. To declare here just means to formally announce to the public, to declare. I declare that John will be the next president of the company.
Yeah, so the first one is the winner. That sounds so fun to watch, but I can't imagine trying to climb up a very slick, slippery pole with that grease on it. Now, while these are Ghost Month's most famous events, there are plenty more to take part in. Wow, so you can go and participate in even more events if you know what's going on around your neighborhood, around your city, and around the country. This Ghost Month, take the time. This is a suggestion from our author. Take the time to visit a temple, make an offering, and honor the dead at one of the many celebrations around Taiwan. There are a lot of ways to celebrate. That's a verb form of the noun celebration. Celebration is just a way to talk about all the fun activities and the ways that people make sure that an important holiday or maybe an important date in your life, maybe it's your wedding, anniversary, you want to have a celebration, maybe have a big dinner, invite friends over. There are lots of ways to celebrate.
Yeah, you might have a celebration if your son or daughter gets accepted to Oxford.
Yay!
Or something like that. That is cause for celebration. So yes, indeed, there are lots of ways to celebrate or to participate in celebrations during Ghost Month. Hey, have a good time out there. I know we're going to have a good time. We're not going to stop working here, of course, during Ghost Month, but of course, we need to observe the taboos.
We will not be whistling, Tom.
No whistling and no swimming and no staying out too late and stuff like that.
And no turning around if someone taps you on the shoulder.
That's right. And also, you could participate in that parade in Geelong there. I'd like to see those water lanterns there.
Me too.
Maybe I'll be willing to fight the crowds this year. Who knows? But again, that brings us to the end of our explanation. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
接下来要介绍的呢是宜兰头城的抢孤盛典 The Ghost Grappling Festival。 第3段在第2个句子提到 This festival is meant to be a reflection of the hardships Chinese immigrants faced when they settled near 宜兰。在这里的 reflection 是有一种表达抒发或者是反应的意思。我们常说啊，你对衣着的选择呢，就可以反映出你的个性。Your choice of clothes is a reflection of your personality. 这里的 reflection 呢，也就是用来说明当时中国移民他们在宜兰附近定居时候，他们面对的艰困。而这里的 hardships 指的就是艰困艰难，借由这样的抢孤盛典来表达当时的艰困跟艰难。抢孤的仪式呢，非常的有趣。我们来看到在下一段的第2个句子提到The team members compete to be the first to reach the top of a 13-meter tall greased pole, where one team member must swim himself onto a platform and climb another 30-meter tall tower.这个句子很长，但是不太难。也就是说呢，队伍的成员要 compete， 互相竞争呢，成为第一个攀爬上这个13公尺高、涂满油脂的木杆顶端的人。在这里，我们的 grease 本来当作动词，有用油脂润滑的意思，这里用被动的形态来修饰 pole， 这个杆子啊被涂满了油脂。Where在那里呢？在这个地方还有一位队伍的成员要把自己荡到平台上 platform， 然后呢去爬另外一个 30-meter tall tower， 另外一个30公尺高的塔。那么后面有提到第一位夺得红旗的人就是赢家咯。最后一段的最后一句 This ghost month, take the time to visit a temple, make an offering, and honor the dead at one of the many celebrations around Taiwan. 那么今年的鬼月呢 take the time to do something， 找个时间去做某件事情，找个时间去寺庙准备贡品，然后在全台湾的许多庆典当中试着表达你对亡者的敬意吧。这里的 celebration 当作名词，就是有庆典跟庆祝活动的意思。我们常常听到的周年的庆典就可以称之为 anniversary celebration。 OK， 以上就是今天的课文讲解，谢谢收听。
Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and please join us again next time for another celebration of our program. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.